How you doing, guys? This is Bgdino, and I am the Termidone Soldier. Today's show / movie review is going to be on the movie Conjuring. Conjuring Last Rite. But first, let's watch this trailer. The movie begins with the Warrens. They were pretty young. They was actually pregnant. Liz Warren was pregnant with her first child, well, their first and only child, and they was interviewing a young female about this mirror that she believed to be haunted. So once they had the interview, Liz Warren, she went over and she approached the demon in the mirror. They collect haunted artificials. So it went back to the very beginning when like their first job as paranormal hunters, pretty much. I guess that's what you could call them. So the demon pretty much, kind of attacked Liz Warren, and she passed out. And then right after she passed out, her and Ed Warren, they was riding in the car, and she started going through labor. And so he had to rush her to the hospital. And once she got to the hospital, the doctors and stuff, they immediately started to work on her, and they was afraid that something was wrong with the baby. So, make a long story short, they had the delivery part, and the baby came out. It was stillborn at that moment. It was stillborn, and they did everything they could. And she said, "No, give me my baby." And she gave the baby, and she just kept on holding. And then the baby started crying. That scene right there, it was kind of emotional. I'm not even going to kid you. It made BG eyes get red. BG eyes got red. I'm not really a big fan of these series because to me I always felt like they was kind of dry. So anyway, we're gonna fast forward to it shows the baby. It shows the progress of the baby. She was a little baby. Then they showed her as like around 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old. And then you learned that she actually see different ghosts and stuff ever since that happened. Because I guess when let me rewind a little bit. Right after Liz Warren had the baby, she would see the ghosts and stuff like crawling on walls and stuff just before she, had the baby, and she thought it was a stillborn, but it was actually alive. But it did have side effects on the child because she would see little demons and dead people and things like that. I see dead people. Wink. But anyway, she taught her daughter how to say little rhymes and told her you only see them if you want to see them. You only can get them attention if you want to get them attention. So then it jumps up to 1986. The daughter, she's pretty much grown, like in her late 20s. The Warrens, they're still doing that same thing. They actually pretty much is at the retirement mode because pretty much after the last one, when it's called The Devil Made Me Do It. So, right after that, they pretty much retired. So they're in a retirement mode right now. And it cuts off to this new family. This new family that lives in this particular house. It's like 8 people live in the house. Grandpas, moms, kids, different like that. So the grandparents, they surprised one of the granddaughters, which was her birthday, on a gift. And the gift was this particular mirror. It has a crack in it. And they said, "Oh, don't worry. Grandpa can fix the crack." And immediately after the mirror was in the house, strange things started happening. The candles she had a birthday party and they told her to blow out the candle, and somebody else blew out the candle instead of she did. She thought her sister was playing a prank on her by doing it, but it was really, she didn't know what was going on. So it came to the conclusion where the 2 daughters, there were actually 2 daughters, one of the daughters' birthday, the mirror belonged to, they decided, we're going to throw this mirror away and just tell Grandpa somebody broke it. And right after they threw it away, and it got taken away by the trash truck, it got destroyed. So pretty much when it got destroyed, it unleashed the demon into their house. Now, the one thing about these Conjuring movies, they kind of dry to me. I've never been a real big fan of them, or none of the knockoffs. Not no lazy Annabelle. I always call her lazy but she actually had a lot of presence in this particular movie right here. I guess it's because it's supposed to be the actual last one they're making. So, we'll get to the end part, but this is supposed to be the last one they made. So, They showed a lot of Annabelle. They showed clips of the nun and a few other characters they gave a little nods to, because like I said, it's gonna be the last one. So fast forward, the daughter, she has a boyfriend, and the boyfriend, he actually wanted to propose to her, and the family, they wasn't really, Ed Warren and Liz Warren wasn't really feeling it at the moment, but they was going to accept it anyway. And pretty much after that, they started hearing about this family that was going through all these problems with ghosts and stuff like that, but they consider themselves retired. And keep in mind, this is supposed to be based off a true story. Yeah, okay. E.T. landed in my backyard. Okay, true story. So, you get a whole bunch of those silly scenes of ghosts.
We're ghosts. Do not frighten your child.
Then it's like, okay, like I said, these movies, they drag so long, and by the time you come to the conclusion what's going on, if you at the end, then by the time you get to the end, it'd be so messy. So I'm not a big fan of these kind of movies. But I will say, this one right here actually had my attention more than the rest of them. Besides the very first one, I enjoyed the first one. I mean, I enjoyed the first one, but, I still don't believe that they're real great movies, but I did enjoy the first one. And this one right here, I would say, is probably the closest one I'll say to the first one. I did kind of enjoy it, even though it had a whole bunch of little weird jump scenes and things like that. But personally, if I'd have made a movie like this, I'd have had it like this to keep people's attention. This is what I'd have had the nun doing. Hey, I had to do it. I gotta keep you guys awake, man. This movie, like I said, this movie right here can be dry. It really can be dry. And I tried my best to like these movies, the Annabelle series and the Nun series, and I can't pronounce the other one. Somebody, whatever. I tried my best to enjoy these movies, but they just drag so much. They drag so much, and then you want to be a part of it, you want to fall into it, you want to believe that these are true stories, which the two characters, Ed and Liz Warren, they really are real life people. And the particular family that they're talking about in this movie, it actually is real. And as the movie go off, it actually shows clips of this real family talking on the news and everything. So everything in the movie is pretty much documented. So besides the actual ghosts, of course, you don't really have any documents of that. But you do have the documents of the family feeling like they've been terrorized by something. And then the Warrens came in there, and tried to help out when they eventually decided to do it. Because like I said, they were retired. That was the whole big thing. They was retired because of Ed's health. If you remember, the last one, he had a heart attack. So, the devil made me do it. Which is also, that really is based off a true story. They're very loosely based. This one right here was probably more close to a true story than the rest of them. I don't know if that makes it good or bad, but this one actually is a little bit more close to the truth, because you can actually see the characters, the real people in real life. They show them. They show how Ed and Elizabeth, they went to their house and finally investigated it and things like that. And then at the end, it breaks down to the point where it explains what ended up happening. Ed eventually died later on. I think it was it said 1980. No, maybe a little later than that. A couple of years after the movie, I think it was 89, maybe 90. I can't remember the exact year, but he eventually passed away from a stroke. And Elizabeth eventually married someone else, and then she eventually passed away. And it says that he have over 1,000 documents of them doing some kind of paranormal experiments. Now my question is, every time I watch this movie, if you're doing paranormal experiments, investigating and hunting, how do y'all get paid? Where y'all get your money from? You have to be already rich. For real. Y'all hear me on this, for real. Where you get money from to do something like that? They wasn't actually scientists. I don't understand. Where did they get their money from, their funding from to do stuff like this? Not even just funding, basic living. How do you go and get dinner? How do you pay your rent? How do you pay your bill? How do you pay your mortgage, car payment, anything? How do you do that by doing this? So, like I said at the beginning, I will say I enjoyed this one a lot more than I enjoyed the rest of them. So, let me give my immediate reaction. My immediate reaction is, it was okay. It was okay. Should you sit in the theaters? If you ain't got nothing else to do. If you don't have nothing else to do, it do have some jump scares that is a little bit fulfilling, but most of them are just jump scares. The storyline is a lot better than the rest of them, you know, and by finishing off with it showing that the real true story of the real family at the end, if you stay a couple minutes while the words go up, they show it, and then they tell you what happened to the Warrens. You know, I say it's worth a peek. It's worth a peek. So my rating is going to be a 2.0 out of 5 pterodon soldiers. A 2.0 out of 5 pterodon soldiers, and that is a lot. I've never gave any Conjuring movies anything higher than a 1.6. So for me to give it a 2.0, it had to be a lot better. This is Bgdino. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys' support. You guys supporting everything I do. I really appreciate it. My numbers is going up. I really appreciate it. Thank everybody. If you enjoyed this video, can you please like, subscribe, and share? Also, guys, remember I have my Halloween and the Terror Dome coming soon. It starts October the 1st. I'm going to try to do 30 horror movies within that 30 days. It may not all be in one. It's not going to all be in one day. Maybe it might be 6 on one video. Maybe 7 on one video. But it's going to be different videos, different horror movies, all the way up from now to like 1980, 1970, wherever I can find something good that I enjoy that you might want to peek out. You know, I would say get a pen and a pencil and get it ready, because maybe you want to write down something and maybe you want to check out some of them. You know, it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be scary. It's going to be fun. So once again, guys, thank you guys for all the support. Time for my honorable mentions. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to June 5th. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Her channel is Forensic8888. She does movie reviews and stories, also like me. Shout out to my buddy eBooks. And shout out to my buddy Thug2000. And also, shout out to one of my very good friends, Be Humble, on the Be Humble podcast. He's an ex-military guy. He has a lot of great military stories. He does a bike tour. It's very interesting. Please check these guys out. They all have YouTube pages. Thank you, guys. This is Bgdino, the Terror Dome Soldier. And guys, I'll see you in the next video, which will be The Long Walk. And this movie, hopefully, I'm really anticipating this movie. I've been waiting for this movie since I saw the trailer. I can't wait. I'm actually excited about this movie. So stay tuned. I'll try to see it as early as possible and to give you guys the best quality review I can give you. Best show, actually, because this is actually a show. This is Bgdino, the Terror Dome Soldier. Thank you guys for all the support. Like, subscribe, and share. Salute, and thank you guys. And I love you. Later.